On the desolate frontier of the Great Silverwood Dynasty, a steel fortress suddenly appeared out of nowhere. The people inside weren't just using modern weapons. They had steam-powered trains and warships filling the roads too. All of this happened because I time traveled and became Daniel Silverwood, the fourth son of Alex Silverwood. With my ordinary abilities, I basically just wanted to live a quiet, stable life. But somehow, I ended up activating the science and technology system for national prosperity. To save the Silverwood dynasty from collapse in the future, I firmly petitioned Alex Silverwood to defend Stormhill territory. After spending 10 years, I finally developed the island's technology up to the steam age. Everyone on the island has a big AK, even the harbor is packed with steam-powered warships. Right when I was preparing to land in Australia and show off my talents in America, Alex Silverwood suddenly brought everyone to inspect Stormhill territory. From far away, it just looked like a deserted island. But then there was this magnificent city standing there. Its grandeur rivaled that of any major city. Alex Silverwood was instantly stunned. Such a huge city. Are you saying this is Stormhill? If you told me it was Blue Star City, I'd believe that too. Until Alex Silverwood actually set foot on Stormhill's soil, he couldn't fully believe it. He saw there was some kind of slate-gray dirt on the ground that he'd never seen before. He bent down and tapped it. It was hard as rock. Being an emperor, he immediately thought about its strategic value. If this was used for construction, it would definitely be invincible. Alex Silverwood gasped in admiration. He wasn't expecting to find such miraculous ground the moment he arrived on the island. Actually, it wasn't just him. Even the Crown Prince Julian Silverwood and the second prince's son, Prince Victor Silverwood, who came with him, looked at the ground too. They couldn't help themselves and bent down to examine it up close. After that, the officials also sat down one by one and started inspecting it carefully. Before long, they were constantly praising it. Suddenly, a refined laugh was heard. Look at those people. They really haven't seen the world. Alex Silverwood immediately flushed with embarrassment. He was the prestigious emperor of the Great Silverwood dynasty. This was the first time someone had openly mocked him to his face. He quickly stood up and spoke in a low voice. It seems this Stormhill of the fourth son isn't ordinary. Is it really, as Victor Silverwood said, that the fourth son came to Stormhill with bad intentions? Looks like this time I really need to investigate thoroughly. Then he told everyone, "This time we came to the island secretly. Without my order, none of you will reveal our identity. Understood?" Everyone was shocked and immediately answered in unison. Then Alex Silverwood said again, "Julian, go find out." But before he could finish, he saw Julian Silverwood coming with a middle-aged man. "Grandfather, this gentleman is the island's receptionist. I hadn't even asked yet and he came over himself." "My name is Adrian Vale. I'm the receptionist at Stormhill Customs. Perhaps this is your first time visiting Stormhill. I don't know if you're here for tourism, business, or to meet a friend." Hearing the Stormhill Customs receptionist speak, Alex Silverwood raised an eyebrow again. When was the Stormhill Customs office established? Why have I never heard of this before? "We came to meet a friend on this island. I don't know if there are any rules here. Can you tell us?" "Oh, so you're here to meet a friend? That's convenient." Adrian Vale pointed toward the massive customs building standing in the distance and smiled, saying, "Please come with me to customs so we can complete the visa process. Tell me the name of the person you're meeting. After this process is complete, you can enter the island." "But what is this thing called a visa?" "What is called a visa is a pass for entering the island." Upon hearing this, Elias Thornfield, the great scholar of the Royal Scholars Academy standing behind Alex Silverwood, quickly pulled out his group's pass from his robe. "We all have these passes. I don't think any other procedure is necessary." Adrian Vale shook his head and smiled, saying, "This pass isn't that pass. My island's visa not only works as a pass, but also has entry and exit dates. You must leave the island within the time limit given on the visa. If you don't and get caught, you'll be immediately deported. Getting a visa isn't just for your travel convenience, it's also to ensure outsiders don't stay here illegally." When Victor Silverwood saw me speaking mysteriously, he immediately said with disdain, "What kind of joke is this? This island of your Stormhill state isn't some paradise on earth. How is it possible that once people come here, they can't go back? Forget about Stormhill state, even in the capital, there's no reason to forcefully kick people out." But this Adrian Vale just smiled and said, "Sir, don't say that. The capital isn't necessarily better than my Stormhill state. Every year, tens of thousands of people from Westalo region cross the border wanting to come to this island. Our customs officers are overwhelmed from top to bottom. Tens of thousands of people cross the border every year. Hearing this, Alex Silverwood couldn't stop himself from looking toward Elias Thornfield. His eyes were completely filled with investigation. Why wasn't such a huge matter actively reported? The Silverwood dynasty had implemented an extremely strict household registration system in a situation where tens of thousands of people were being displaced no matter what. This should have been reported, but as a result, the imperial court received no news of this. Was someone deliberately hiding this, or was there some conspiracy? When Elias Thornfield saw the old man's expression, bitterness filled his heart. Although he had previously been Alex Silverwood's confidential secretary, he truly had never heard this news. At this time, Adrian Vale smiled again and said, "In recent years, all outsiders know that life in my Stormhill prefecture is very good. They absolutely don't want to suffer in other places. This is also thanks to His Highness the Prince's kindness. Every time they deport border crossers, they always give them some travel money so they can return. This way, everyone coming and going knows how prosperous my Stormhill prefecture is. On the contrary, border crossing has become even more intense now. When you people return, please don't spread this around. If word gets out that subjects under the court's rule are crossing borders, wouldn't that be a slap in the Emperor's face?" And hearing these words, everyone got scared and started trembling. And you're still saying this isn't a slap in the Emperor's face? The Emperor is right on the verge of losing all his prestige. Thinking this, everyone's eyes involuntarily turned toward Alex Silverwood's face. The Duke of Ironford, Marcus Blackwood, even put his hand on his sword hilt so he could take revenge for His Majesty at any moment. But right before everyone's eyes, they saw Alex Silverwood laughing angrily. He said, "So, is this Stormhill state really a paradise on Earth? We really need to take a good look at this." Saying this, rage was already blazing in his heart. What is this about not wanting to suffer in other people's territories? What do you mean you can't live? Am I, Alex Silverwood, who has worked hard running the country for over 10 years, less than your fourth son who developed an island for 10 years? Come on, let's all see how prosperous Stormhill State is under Prince Daniel's rule. It was clear to everyone that Alex Silverwood had developed dissatisfaction toward Daniel Silverwood. Only Theodore Silverwood covered his mouth and quietly hid his laughter, praising his fourth brother in his heart for doing a good job. "You're drawing the fire to yourself. Now I won't have to worry." And so everyone, lost in their own thoughts, continued toward the Stormhill State border checkpoint. It wasn't long before that Adrian Vale took everyone to the service window and warned them, "Gentlemen, I need to remind you of something. On my island, carrying firearms, knives, and swords is prohibited. If you have any, you can deposit them for safekeeping." As soon as he said this, Marcus Blackwood said with dissatisfaction, "Swords are prohibited? What if assassins come? If something happens, does everyone have to fight with bare hands?" But before he could finish speaking, a sarcastic laugh was heard from ahead. He saw a middle-aged man in fancy dress turn around smiling and say, "Did you people come from somewhere else? You still carry swords around? What age are we living in? Nowadays, assassinations are done with guns. Besides, Stormhill Prefecture has its own security. It's very safe here. Do you think this is still Great Silverwood Dynasty territory, where thieves and bandits are everywhere? Carrying swords on Stormhill Prefecture's roads is strictly prohibited. If you really bring swords in, you'll have to pay a fine." But Alex Silverwood's attention clearly wasn't on this. Instead, he smiled at the scholar and said, "From what you're saying, it seems people in Stormhill Prefecture don't use iron things." That middle-aged person, seeing his manners, explained, "Nowadays, most people on the island use stainless steel knives. They're much better than your swords. Outsiders can't bring swords here." When Alex Silverwood heard the word stainless steel, he suddenly became very surprised. "But I've heard that Prince Daniel's land is full of clansmen and their behavior is very What if we have to face a rebellion by the clansmen? How should we defend ourselves?" The clansmen are the indigenous ethnic group of Stormhill Province. After Stormhill Province was incorporated into the Great Silverwood government, they migrated in large numbers to the south of Stormhill. But the conflict between clansmen and mainlanders has always been extremely serious. There's some kind of uprising almost every 3 years. Whether through military suppression or negotiation, nothing has been able to resolve this historical conflict. Did your fourth son solve a problem that hasn't been solved for 100 years? The middle-aged man shook his head again in refusal and said with a smile, Elder, I can see you're not young, but your knowledge is really outdated. Alex Silverwood humbly asked for advice. Brother, please tell me more. At that same moment, the middle-aged man said again, There are no Klansmen in Stormhill now. Since the reforms 6 years ago, the Klansman ethnic group has become one ethnicity of our Stormhill. Now everyone calls themselves Klansman compatriots. The older generation's temperament is certainly fierce, but in the new generation, most people read Mainlanders' characters and speak Mainlanders' language. They live in harmony with each other. At that time, Elias Thornfield showed interest. If you say so, does Prince Daniel also educate foreigners on this Stormhill province land? If Alex Silverwood was interested in military and economic matters, scholars like him were interested in education. Hearing his question, the middle-aged man said excitedly, Don't even get me started on that. What I admire most about Prince Daniel, His Highness, is one thing. On this island, whether they're Klansmen or Mainlanders, everyone is treated equally. Compulsory education has been implemented here. There's only one bad thing. To receive education, you need to have residency registration here. Outsiders who want to settle in Stormhill Province have to pay social security fees here. I've already paid for 5 years and still have 5 more years to go, but I have 2 children. The older one is 4 years old and the younger one is 2. In 5 years, they'll be able to start elementary school too. By then, I'll be considered a Stormhill Territory resident too. When I go back to my ancestral village and talk about it, everyone will respect me. Hearing this, Alex Silverwood and the others felt even more uncomfortable. It should be said that in the Silverwood dynasty, the people with the highest status were none other than the capital's residents. Which wealthy merchant from anywhere wouldn't want to go to the capital? But when they arrived at this Stormhill Territory island after the whole journey, they found that almost everyone wanted to be in Stormhill Territory. It seemed that if someone got Stormhill Territory residency registration, maybe even Aymer wouldn't trade it. After all, what does Stormhill Territory have that attracts these people? Alex Silverwood couldn't understand this at all. This time, he originally came to teach his son a lesson and also to see the pitiful daily life of his fourth son, Daniel Silverwood. But the result was that as soon as he arrived here, he saw everyone praising Stormhill Territory. This really filled his heart with doubt. Just as he was about to ask, he saw that it was now his turn in line. He saw some beautiful young women sitting at the window. Name, original location, why are you here? Marcus Blackwood, who was at the front, raised his head and said, My name is Marcus Blackwood. I'm from Shanford City, Henford State, and I came to meet a friend. It was no surprise that Marcus Blackwood had this attitude. He had valid reasons to be arrogant. His father was Arthur Blackwood, who was one of the main heroes of the Jingnan campaign. Marcus Blackwood himself had also achieved many military accomplishments and was considered the #1 general of the Silverwood dynasty at that time. He held important positions like the Great Master of Wrong, the Right Pillar of State, and Duke of Ironford. Although Marcus Blackwood's name didn't resound through Great Silverwood, he wasn't unknown either. But when he said his name, it seemed like that young woman had never heard it before. She didn't even look up. You came to meet a friend? Do you have your friend's detailed contact address? Hearing this, Marcus Blackwood frowned. After thinking for quite a while, he said, I don't know where he is. I only know that his name is Marcus Blackwood. He's my 3rd younger brother. Currently, he's serving in the Silverwood Royal Manor. But this time, he just said this casually and saw the young woman's expression change. What did you say? Are you Commander-in-Chief Lucian Blackwood's older brother? Commander-in-Chief? Hearing this, Marcus Blackwood was shocked. You're saying my good-for-nothing 3rd brother is Commander-in-Chief? In his heart, his 2 younger brothers, Felix Blackwood and Arthur Blackwood, were good-for-nothings. The 2nd brother was more like a real playboy. There was probably no vice left in the capital that he hadn't done. As for the 3rd brother, Lucian Blackwood, he was arrogant, showy, and bossy. If it weren't for this older brother's protection, who knows how much trouble those 2 would have caused. That year, he heard that the Prince of Stormhill Territory wanted to go south to his fief, so he took the initiative to apply to have his 3rd brother, Lucian Blackwood, join that group. Actually, he wanted this boy to toughen himself up in this desolate place. But the result was that today, as soon as he set foot on this land, he found out that the younger brother he looked down on had become the commander-in-chief of this place. He, the prestigious Duke of Ironford of Great Silverwood, was forced to rely on his good-for-nothing brother's reputation to prove his identity at this Stormhill Territory port. This world was truly turned upside down. At that moment, a middle-aged man quickly came out from the inner room. This was the official named Jared. He came to everyone with a bitter smile. Joining his hands, he said, "Gentlemen, since you are relatives of Commander-in-Chief Lucian Blackwood, why didn't you say so earlier? If I had known before, we wouldn't have needed to go through this troublesome entry paperwork." Hearing this, Marcus Blackwood felt a bit relieved in his heart. Just then, Alex Silverwood next to him snorted coldly and said, "How ridiculous. Everyone else needs verification documents to enter the island, but you people can be exempt because of your connections." It seems favoritism among officials is really widespread in this Stormhill territory. The somewhat good impression he had just formed of Stormhill territory immediately vanished because of this special privilege. Seeing this, Jared quickly bowed and explained, "Sir, please calm down. This entry check is mainly to stop illegal settlers and beggars. Since you are relatives of Commander-in-Chief Lucian Blackwood, you certainly won't be staying here illegally. This isn't favoritism among officials, but a special case being handled specially. It's proper and just." But Alex Silverwood shook his sleeve and turned away. It was clear he didn't want to talk to him anymore. The atmosphere suddenly became a bit awkward. Julian Silverwood stepped forward in time to mediate. "Sir, please don't mind. My father was just speaking casually. If exceptions can be made for special cases, we are grateful for that. Please let us pass through the checkpoint." Jared joined his hands again. "Please come with me." Then he led them straight toward the checkpoint. When they arrived at the checkpoint, the staff member in front was holding a black iron strip and waving it around people. Julian Silverwood asked curiously, "Excuse me, what is this?" Jared smiled and said, "This is a security check. We use magnets so people can't secretly bring controlled knives and swords into the island. But you people are exempt. As long as you haven't brought firearms, you can go in." Victor Silverwood directly mocked, "Who would bring that kind of stuff with them anyway?" Although the Silverwood dynasty had firearms, the three-barreled guns of that time were heavy and slow to load. Very few people carried them with them. Jared smiled and, without asking any more questions, led everyone straight into the checkpoint lobby. People were coming and going in the lobby and it was crowded. There were transparent windows all around. The most surprising thing was that the floor was smooth and shiny like jade. In the evening light, people's reflections were clearly visible on the floor. Alex Silverwood was shocked. How could this place be so magnificent? This is just customs. If your city palace is also like this, wouldn't it be even more magnificent than my imperial palace? Victor Silverwood thought to himself, how much sweat and tears did the fourth brother squeeze out of the people to build such magnificence? Seeing this, Jared smiled and said, "This is nothing. If we're talking about magnificence, the prince's mansion is number one. When you see it, then you'll know what heaven is." At that moment, Alex Silverwood shouted in a cold voice, "His Majesty the Great Ancestor." The founder of Great Silverwood lived a very difficult life. Even after ascending the throne, he lived with simplicity and frugality. What qualification and talent does Prince Daniel have to live here with such magnificence and wasteful spending? He truly doesn't deserve to be called a true man. As soon as he finished speaking, several cold gazes turned toward him. Adrian Vale, who had always remained diplomatic, suddenly turned cold. "Sir, please watch your language. In Stormhill territory, not a single bad word can be said about Prince Daniel. Whatever Stormhill territory is today is entirely because of His Majesty Prince Daniel." At first, Stormhill was a very remote county with a population of less than 100,000. Now, there are nearly 1 million people here. It was the prince who spent money to attract displaced people, built workshops, and guided people to settle. It was also the prince who recruited common people from any background for education and training. If it weren't for Prince Daniel, how would we have gotten these government positions today? We probably would have starved to death a long time ago. Because we can say bad things about anyone, but we can't say bad things about the prince. I'll forget what you just said, sir, but once you enter the island, you shouldn't repeat these things. Otherwise, you'll face the consequences. Alex Silverwood was stunned. He thought Adrian Vale was an opportunistic flatterer. He didn't expect that just from scolding the fourth brother, the other person would immediately change his face. Is the fourth brother's reputation in Stormhill territory really that high? On the other hand, Victor Silverwood loved adding fuel to the fire. He kept asking, if you insult Prince Daniel in Stormhill territory, does the government throw you in jail? Adrian Vale looked at him seriously. He said, word by word, if you're arrested by officials, that would be your luck. I'm afraid before getting arrested, people will beat you to death. Remember, in Stormhill territory, Prince Daniel is heaven. Insulting him will definitely provoke public anger. After that, Adrian Vale turned and walked away. Everyone just stood there. Adrian Vale's words kept echoing in their ears. In Stormhill territory, Prince Daniel is heaven. Insulting him will definitely provoke public anger. Very good. This time he's not even pretending. Saying that your fourth brother doesn't want to rebel? Who would believe that? Alex Silverwood suddenly turned and asked Elias Thornfield, Minister, what's your opinion on this matter? Elias Thornfield was silent for quite a while. Then, joining his hands, he said, without knowing the full situation, I won't comment. Alex Silverwood gave a cold smile. Go to the great scholar. Second brother, Shanji, what's your opinion? Victor Silverwood immediately answered, what other opinion could there be? Gather the army, father. The fourth brother is about to rebel. Julian Silverwood hesitated for a moment and then said, without knowing the full situation, I won't comment. The current situation of Great Silverwood is complicated. The Emperor's whereabouts are unknown. The court lacks talent. Second uncle and fourth uncle are not ordinary people. Julian Silverwood had learned to hide his sharpness a long time ago. He knew his grandfather actually wanted to know his attitude toward his relatives, not his real thoughts. Hearing this, Alex Silverwood said with a cold smile, you're also one of those who fish in troubled waters. Actually, he wasn't worried about Prince Daniel rebelling. Great Silverwood's foundation was much stronger than Stormhill territory. He was just curious. In the first year of Alexian ERA, Stormhill's registered population was less than 400,000. Now, just in Stormhill's Han County alone, there are nearly 1 million people. In just 11 years, it multiplied several times. This is beyond common sense. While everyone was lost in their own thoughts, Elias Thornfield said, it's not hard to guess this matter. Does your majesty remember the Battle of Anvaria in the 5th year of Alexian ERA? That same year, the new province of Jadiscar province was established. When they did the census, they were short 280 households, about 1 million people total. At the time, it was thought they had become pirates at sea, but in recent years, there's been no news of pirates at sea. If you add these 1 million people to Stormhill's original residents, the clansmen's ethnic people, and the people from West Alo region who migrated south, they make up Stormhill territory's current population size. Alex Silverwood stopped him again with a gesture. Originally, he thought he was weakening Great Silverwood's foundation. After hearing this, he understood that the people from Anvaria that he gave shelter to actually weakened the rebel forces in Jadiscar province. The refugees who were taken in also prevented local uprisings. So the prince not only made no mistake, but actually contributed. Alex Silverwood muttered to himself, this boy is really capable, just takes in millions of people like that, knows how to create trouble. He really is my son. He was never afraid his son would be lazy, just afraid his son wouldn't have capability. At 16 years old, he got his fief and built such an empire on such poor land. Your capability is much greater than Victor Silverwood and Victor Silverwood, who are only good at one thing. In a moment of carelessness, a thought suddenly came to his mind. Could it be that the fourth son is actually the most suitable to become emperor? He immediately dismissed this thought. No wonder Alex Silverwood rejected this idea. He had never been trustworthy in his heart. You not only associate with all kinds of people, don't read the scholars' classics, but also preach that Augustus's Neo-Confucianism is wrong. If it weren't for your princely status, scholars and officials would have already criticized you verbally and in writing. The censors also often presented memorials saying you weren't fulfilling your duties. Alex Silverwood had scolded you before too, but you not only didn't listen to him, you even established a new school of thought advocating the unity of knowledge and action, and seeking truth through facts. You even took the sons of nobles to plow fields and raise pigs. In Alex Silverwood's eyes, this is a shameful thing for Confucian scholars. Even if you achieve something in Stormhill, you have absolutely no chance of inheriting the throne. The throne should be governed together with scholar officials. Opposing Augustus's Neo-Confucianism is opposing the scholars of the world. You won't be able to handle the empire. Old Aldrich, any news, Adrian Vale's call brought Alex Silverwood's thoughts back. Julian Silverwood came over to explain. The Customs Department sent a telegram to Lucian Blackwood's residence. Fourth Uncle is testing a new warship with General Lucian Blackwood in the southern seas. It'll take a few days to get back because the Silverwood Royal Manor sent someone to contact us. When that person arrives, we can enter the island. We just need to wait a few days to meet General Lucian Blackwood. Alex Silverwood shook his head. Perfect timing. These days I'll see what Stormhill is actually like. Is the contact person Edward Crow? Edward Crow is the chief manager of the Silverwood Royal Manor, along with Lucian Blackwood. They're the only two trusted people you brought along. He's also the only one who can recognize their identity. Julian Silverwood shook his head. It's not him. It's a minor official from the Silverwood Royal Manor named Noah Silverwood, from Entoria, Zarathia. 3 years ago, he came to the island to study at the New School of Thought. He won fourth uncle Noah Silverwood's trust and appreciation. He's probably another uneducated good-for-nothing. Alex Silverwood didn't care much about this. In his eyes, anyone who takes the initiative to study this heretical new ideology is definitely some traitor and rebel. He immediately grasped the main point. What is this telegram? This place is very far from the city. How is it possible to inform both mansions so quickly? Julian Silverwood couldn't answer this either. He just said, "They say it can send news thousands of kilometers away." Victor Silverwood interrupted and said, "What's so strange about that? Can't our beacon towers on the borders also send news thousands of kilometers away?" Before Alex Silverwood could clearly think, Adrian Vale came to them again. "Mr. Noah Silverwood will come on the next train. Everyone, please follow me to the platform so we can wait for the train going to the city." Alex Silverwood and the others were shocked. Do trains also have scheduled times? He followed Adrian Vale out of the customs office. Everyone saw that there were several railway tracks under the platform. Victor Silverwood said in surprise, Wow. Building all this must have used a lot of iron. Raw iron is a material controlled by Great Silverwood. Recruiting private soldiers and making weapons is very expensive. How generous is the fourth one?" He was about to go down and look, but Adrian Vale quickly stopped him. "Sir, please come back quickly. You can't go near the tracks. The train is about to arrive." He had barely finished speaking when a loud roar was heard from afar. The tracks started shaking. Victor Silverwood turned to look. He only saw a black iron monster roaring and rushing forward. "Oh my god, what kind of rudeness is this?" Marcus Blackwood immediately drew his sword to protect Alex Silverwood. He shouted loudly, "Protect the Emperor! There's a monster here!" Alex Silverwood looked at that huge thing. He was stunned in his heart. This is a train, such a long piece of iron, and they call it a vehicle. Alex Silverwood looked at the train standing before him. He was completely stunned. In his mind, a vehicle could at most be an imperial carriage with 2 wheels and 5 horses. But in this iron box, there were neither horses nor was it clear how many wheels it had. This was completely incompatible with Great Silverwood Dynasty's worldview. The relief from Victor Silverwood's panicked scream coming from afar interrupted his thoughts. He only saw Victor Silverwood running along the edge of the tracks. Alex Silverwood quickly ordered Marcus Blackwood to save him. Marcus Blackwood gritted his teeth and jumped onto the tracks. He ran toward Victor Silverwood. Then he hugged Victor Silverwood and jumped hard to one side. As soon as both of them got off the tracks, the train roared past, stopping everyone's gaze. The next moment, Alex Silverwood panicked when he saw this. Adrian Vale wiped his sweat and smiled, saying, "Nothing happened. As long as you're not on the tracks, nothing will happen." At that time, Elias Thornfield came to Alex Silverwood with a trembling voice. "Your Majesty, how can human power create such a thing? A giant piece of iron that can move by itself. If this was used on the battlefield, no military formation, no matter how strong, could stop it." Alex Silverwood remained silent. The truth was right before his eyes. Any excuse would be like trying to hide his unease. "Grandfather!" Julian Silverwood's call was heard. Alex Silverwood turned to look. He saw a tall young man quickly coming toward him. He bowed in greeting. "My name is Noah Silverwood. I'm a clerk at the Silverwood Royal Manor. Are you people Commander Lucian Blackwood's older brother?" "We are. You're a clerk from the Prince's mansion. There was no need for you to personally come welcome us." Alex Silverwood asked casually. Noah Silverwood smiled and said, "The Prince ordered that Stormhill territory is different from outside. Outside officials have difficulty adapting to the environment here. Besides, Commander Lucian Blackwood's older brother is General Marcus Blackwood, the Duke of Ironford. He wouldn't come here without some special reason. Surely the Emperor sent him to deliver some decree. Therefore, I should personally come to welcome him. Alex Silverwood narrowed his eyes and said, "No one on this island knows the Duke of Ironford. Only you know. Prince Daniel is very cautious." Noah Silverwood shook his head and said, "Prince Daniel is straightforward and honorable. He has no rebellious intentions. Then why does he need to be cautious? I know General Marcus Blackwood because he knew about court matters before coming to Stormhill territory. On the contrary, the Prince and Commander Lucian Blackwood didn't know that General Marcus Blackwood was appointed Duke of Ironford." Alex Silverwood nodded to himself and then asked, "You're originally from Antoria? Why didn't you go to the capital to study? After passing the imperial examination, you could have served in the court." Noah Silverwood answered with another question. "Do you believe, sir, that students should prioritize knowledge? The future is more important." Alex Silverwood answered, "Naturally, knowledge is supreme. This is the principle." Noah Silverwood smiled and said, "Although there are great scholars in the capital, they don't have much knowledge. Even though Stormhill territory is remote, there is unique talent there. Like Prince Daniel, leaving Stormhill territory to go to the capital is like abandoning what's nearby to search for what's far away. This isn't the way to seek knowledge." Alex Silverwood wasn't pleased. "So, the great scholars in the capital aren't as good as their prince?" Noah Silverwood's face showed indifference. "Those words are wrong. In my humble opinion, not only the great scholars of the capital, but in thousands of years of Eldoria history, no one has had such profound knowledge as Prince Daniel. Even the great sage Confucius couldn't match him in some matters." Alex Silverwood looked at him angrily. This man is flattering so much that he's saying even the great sage Confucius isn't as good as the fourth prince. This is truly great heresy. As soon as Noah Silverwood finished speaking, Elias Thornfield angrily stepped forward. "What an arrogant student! How dare you insult the sage?" Noah Silverwood replied, "What did I say that insults the sage?" Elias Thornfield said in a harsh voice. "The great sage Confucius is the teacher of all ages. Aurelius Veritas, Cassian Luminar, and other scholars also respected Confucianism. Even Prince Daniel wouldn't dare to compare himself to him, and yet you say the great sage Confucius isn't as good as Prince Daniel. This is just flattering one person by damaging another. You respect neither the great sage Confucius nor Prince Daniel. Do you admit your crime?" "Sir, you didn't hear properly." Noah Silverwood's face was calm. "I said there are some aspects in which the great sage Confucius couldn't compare. Not that he couldn't compare at all. The first sentence shows there might be some areas where he couldn't compare. The second sentence shows complete inferiority. There's a world of difference between these two." Elias Thornfield was still not satisfied. "Then tell me, in what matter is the great sage Confucius inferior to Prince Daniel?" Noah Silverwood pointed toward the train. "For example, this thing. Did Prince Daniel make it? Could the great sage Confucius have made it?" Elias Thornfield was immediately speechless. "Speaking of this piece of iron, forget the great sage Confucius. All the sages of all ages combined couldn't have made it." Julian Silverwood, standing beside him, couldn't hold back his laughter and burst out laughing. Elias Thornfield's face immediately turned red with shame. Alex Silverwood glanced at Julian Silverwood and mediated, saying, "You're very eloquent. If we're talking about intelligence and skill, Prince Daniel is undoubtedly number one in this era." He gave Elias Thornfield a way out while also lightly putting Victor Silverwood in his place. Noah Silverwood didn't argue on this topic and changed the subject. "Gentlemen, there's no need for further delay. The next train is about to arrive. First, you all get on the train. By the way, which of you is the Duke of Ironford?" His gaze fell on Alex Silverwood, whose bearing was the most heroic. Suddenly, everyone remembered Victor Silverwood. In the distance, Adrian Vale and Marcus Blackwood were helping him walk. Victor Silverwood's head was covered in blood. He was groaning with a handkerchief tied around his head. As soon as he saw Alex Silverwood, Victor Silverwood fell to his knees on the ground and burst into tears. "That monster almost stopped this son from seeing you again." At first, Alex Silverwood showed some concern, but seeing his condition, his face turned stern. "If you're not dead, get up. How old are you? Aren't you ashamed?" He immediately ordered Sebastian Hale to help him up. He turned and said to everyone, "Get in the vehicle first." Seeing this, Noah Silverwood frowned. Was there an attacker? Julian Silverwood said while holding back laughter. This is my second uncle. Just a while ago, he saw something strange on the tracks and fell when he went down to look. Fortunately, the Duke of Ironford saved him. Noah Silverwood looked at Marcus Blackwood and quickly asked about his injuries. Marcus Blackwood said in surprise, "Do you know me?" Noah Silverwood explained the purpose of his trip. Marcus Blackwood looked toward Alex Silverwood. Alex Silverwood waved his hand. Enough now. Everyone get in the vehicle. As soon as they sat down, Julian Silverwood asked, "When will this train depart?" Noah Silverwood answered, "It will depart when all passengers have boarded. There's a trip every hour." Alex Silverwood made an expression of deep thought. This train is divided into many carriages. All are used to carry people. Noah Silverwood explained, livestock, grain, and coal can also be transported. Recently, it's tourist season, so mainly people are being transported. Alex Silverwood got straight to the point. If this was filled with grain, how much could it carry? Noah Silverwood did some mental calculations for a moment. If only grain is transported, about 500 dan can be carried in one trip. Julian Silverwood was so shocked he trembled. Alex Silverwood was even more stunned. There was disbelief on his face. This is truly like some fairy tale. A horse carriage can only carry 2.5 dan of grain. For 500 dan of grain, you'd need 20,000 horse carriages, 20,000 laborers, and 20,000 horses. If you include the losses from long-distance transport, you'd actually need over 100,000 dan of grain, 400 laborers, and 400 horses. But this train before us equals the power of 400 men. Alex Silverwood suppressed his amazement and continued asking, "If this train is filled with rations, how much does it consume?" Noah Silverwood answered, "It depends on the distance. One coal-filled carriage can go 200 miles. It consumes 500 caddies of coal per mile. This vehicle burns coal." Alex Silverwood narrowed his eyes slightly. He had known about coal for a very long time, even since childhood. You had proposed mining smokeless coal in Stonecrest, Northspire City, but he rejected it because of his prejudice. Now, when I think about it, if I hadn't rejected it back then, maybe Great Silverwood would already have trains, and the Northern Campaign wouldn't have been rejected by Victor Silverwood due to lack of funds. Did I really make a mistake that year? He felt guilt in his heart. His face was serious and uncertain. The activity outside the carriage brought him back to reality. Common people were boarding the train with their families. Some were laughing, some were chatting. This scene was full of vitality. A smile appeared on Alex Silverwood's lips. This scene of national prosperity and people's peace showed that his prejudice against his fourth son was very deep. Immediately, a thought came. If the fourth son can build trains, he can build them too. The Great Silverwood Empire has vast land and abundant resources. Trains can reduce governance costs, suppress rebellions, and save on losses. This is a great benefit for both the country and the people. He gathered his courage and said to Noah Silverwood, "Advisor Noah Silverwood, I venture to ask, how much would it cost to build this vehicle?" Noah Silverwood answered, "The locomotive costs over 100,000 taels. One carriage costs 10,000 taels. With 20 carriages and 2 locomotives, it would need over 4 million taels. The key is in the tracks. At that time, the first section of over 30 miles in Stormhill territory cost 1,000 taels of silver per mile. Now, though it has dropped to 60 taels per mile, but the total cost for over 600 miles of railway reaches 40 million taels. This doesn't include the cost of research and workshops." Alex Silverwood and Julian Silverwood looked at each other. Only bitterness remained in their eyes. Great Silverwood's annual income from silver trade is barely over 3 million taels. This isn't even enough to build one local metro. Even if they sold all the grain and goods for the whole year, the total income would be at most 30 million taels. Without eating or drinking, they couldn't build a railway to Stormhill State's level. With Great Silverwood's current economic situation, building their own railway is basically impossible. Right at that moment, when grandfather and grandson were sitting with bitter smiles, the train whistle blew. The heavy carriage slowly started moving. The passengers began looking at the sea view from the window. Alex Silverwood leaned against the window again with a heart full of worries. This railway line and its engine cost the equivalent of Great Silverwood's 2 years of taxes. The train speed is no less than a running horse, but its cargo capacity is 10,000 times greater. The human and material resources that can be saved are countless. But the construction cost made him doubtful. Great Silverwood's treasury could hardly bear such a huge investment. Besides, it would take several years for this project's results to show. The opposition in court would undoubtedly be huge, and yet you managed to do this with poor Stormhill territory. Seeing this, he was shocked and confused. In his memories, how could that young man have such determination, abandoning glory and wealth to start from scratch on the southern frontier? Suddenly, he realized he had never truly understood this son. He treated his sons with such suspicion as if they were thieves, making family matters even more complicated. While his conscience was pricking him, he asked in a heavy voice, "Prince Daniel's life these years hasn't been easy, has it?" Noah Silverwood said emotionally, "Common people spread rumors that Prince Daniel has faced danger many times. When seizing the land, he was bitten and wounded by insects and snakes. When suppressing the clansmen's rebellion, he personally went to dangerous places and was wounded several times fighting pirates. But every time he would step forward and say, 'The ancient Emberheart dynasty fell because of the royal family's weakness. The Silverwood dynasty began with the strength of the Son of Heaven. Now, when the Son of Heaven is guarding the nation's gates, how can we stay behind?'" Alex Silverwood listened stunned. His lips were moving, but no words came out. "The Son of Heaven is guarding the nation's gates." These 5 words exactly express those thoughts related to moving the capital to Northspire City and the northern campaigns. He only wanted to defeat the grassland tribes and protect the people's peace on the northern frontier. But the whole court, whether civil or military, called him warlike. The crown prince criticized him for creating problems. Only this son, who was far away on the southern frontier, understood him. He has suffered so much. Alex Silverwood took a long breath. With complex emotions and without saying anything, Julian Silverwood, standing beside him, saw that his grandfather wasn't well and was about to change the subject when suddenly he pointed out the window. "Oh no, there's a fire there." Everyone looked in the distance and saw thick smoke coming from a building in the middle of the fields. Victor Silverwood was watching in surprise as if watching a show. Alex Silverwood frowned and said to Noah Silverwood, "The fire needs to be put out quickly. Don't let the crops burn." But Noah Silverwood smiled peacefully. "Don't worry, gentlemen. That's not a fire. That's Stormhill Territory's steel factory making steel." Everyone was shocked. They were curious to see how massive steel production at this level was. The train passed by. Everyone saw the steel factory's huge chimneys emitting smoke, whose scale was far greater than Great Silverwood's 13 iron factories. Alex Silverwood couldn't stop himself from asking, how much raw iron and steel can such a steel factory produce in a year? Noah Silverwood said directly, "There are currently 5 steel factories in Stormhill Territory. Last year, they produced 900,000 tons of steel, which equals about 180 billion caddies. This year, it's expected to reach 1 million tons." These words stunned everyone. Victor Silverwood was trembling even more. Great Silverwood's total annual raw iron production capacity wasn't even 1/10 of Stormhill Territory's. He had bought over 100,000 caddies of raw iron for the Shungshi army and spent thousands of tolls on it, and the 4th brother can produce 180 billion caddies every year. This background secretly delighted him. With the 4th brother's support, the old man definitely won't have time to control him. On the other hand, Alex Silverwood and Julian Silverwood were completely stunned. This production was beyond their understanding. Why does Stormhill Territory produce so much iron in a year? Alex Silverwood suppressed his amazement and continued asking. Noah Silverwood explained, "Raw iron and steel are the industrial foundation of Stormhill Territory. Railways, trains, machinery, daily utensils, even construction work needs them. Like in the construction of the customs house and the harbor, tens of thousands of tons of steel were used in these. Currently, even production of millions of tons isn't enough to meet demand." Alex Silverwood was stunned. He had never thought that iron could also be used to build houses. But when he saw Stormhill Territory's architecture with his own eyes, he found that joining iron together really made buildings much stronger. Just, if his descendants had to fight wars in the future, how could such strong defenses be broken? His heart became even more filled with worries. Julian Silverwood realized how terrifying his 4th uncle was and asked directly, "Where does Stormhill Territory get so much iron from?" Noah Silverwood answered, "Stormhill Territory already had mines. The king of Stormhill discovered an associated iron mine during exploration. Besides, it was an open pit mine. You only needed to remove the top layer and then it could be extracted. The reserves are about 400 million tons. At the current rate, It can be mined for several decades. Julian Silverwood's heart grew heavy. This fourth uncle's plans were very deep and long-term, but minerals will eventually run out one day. Noah Silverwood changed the subject. The king of Guang is already planning to expand south toward Australia. Rumor has it that this place is south of Nanyang, 10,000 miles long and extremely rich in minerals. In the future, most of Stormhill Territory's people will settle there. Does the king of Guang want to settle in Australia? Alex Silverwood and Julian Silverwood were both shocked at the same time. So the fourth brother had no intention of returning to Great Silverwood to rebel at all. He wanted to go out and explore. The previous worries were perhaps in vain. At this moment, Alex Silverwood was afraid that you would rebel, and also afraid that you wouldn't rebel. For Alex Silverwood, the Great Silverwood Empire that he had worked so hard to build, if his youngest son considered it inferior to Australia, this would not only be a denial of his legacy, but also a denial of his own efforts. He felt both relief and disappointment in his heart. For Julian Silverwood, he had just seen his fourth uncle as a rival for the throne, and now the other person wanted to migrate. He felt that his own struggle for the throne was trivial, and at the same time, he suspected this was all a show. After all, in Eldoria, the art of deception in war is valued. Stormhill Territory's steel production had forced him to be vigilant. Therefore, Julian Silverwood pressed with questions. Advisor Ju, may I ask where Australia is? Noah Silverwood answered, rumor has it that it's located southeast of the country of Borneo. The king of Guang has already clearly explored it. It's over 5,000 li from Stormhill Territory and over 600 li from Borneo's Epstone Island. Alex Silverwood frowned. Great Silverwood's knowledge of Nanyang mainly came from Sebastian Drake's voyages. Sebastian Drake had never gone to the southern hemisphere, so how could there be a continent south of Borneo? Elias Thornfield, who had been silent until now, suddenly stood up. You've forgotten, my lord. 4 years ago, when Sebastian Drake returned to court, he presented a golden kangaroo that was almost as tall as a human and had a pouch in its belly. The envoy from Borneo said this kangaroo came from a large island in the south. This island is big, but there are many deserts there, and it's difficult for sailing ships to reach. Sebastian Drake never explored it. Surely the Australia that the King of Stormhill is talking about is this island. Noah Silverwood nodded in confirmation. Alex Silverwood was still doubtful. If it's a desert, how can people settle there? Noah Silverwood explained, only the north of this island is desert. It rains in the south. The land is fertile and can support hundreds of millions of people. Besides, under the deserts are many mines. This island's gold production is the highest in the world. Settling in Australia is just a temporary plan. In the King of Stormhill's plans, once a base is established in Australia, migration to the Golden Continent will also begin. This is a continent located in the far eastern land. The land is flat and the soil is fertile. It can support hundreds of billions of people, and the minerals here are even more abundant than in Australia. Hearing this, everyone was stunned. Victor Silverwood muttered, does the Golden Continent really exist? Is there gold everywhere there? Suddenly, he felt that the throne wasn't as attractive anymore. Going to the Golden Continent to relax would be much more comfortable than the hard work of being emperor. Julian Silverwood said in a cold voice, it can't be that good. But in his heart, he believed his fourth uncle was making up stories to win people over. But Alex Silverwood slowly stroked his beard. I think the Golden Continent might really exist. There must be some continent in the east. Grandfather. Julian Silverwood was getting impatient. This is clearly a children's story. How could the elder believe this? John G., don't say anything. Alex Silverwood raised his hand to stop the impatient Julian Silverwood. He understood this grandson very well. He knew he considered your words a deception, but he saw that Julian Silverwood was being too hasty. He believed the Golden Continent exists, not because of Noah Silverwood, but because when you were 15 years old, you said there was a continent in the east. At that time, you had no reason to deceive. Only after being rejected by him did you request to become a feudal lord in Stormhill Territory to find it yourself. Now, Stormhill Territory has emerged from barren land. Your words are naturally credible, and more importantly, admitting you were right would mean admitting he was wrong at that time, but an emperor can never be wrong. After Noah Silverwood left, Alex Silverwood asked Julian Silverwood, don't you trust your fourth uncle? Julian Silverwood panicked and bowed his head. Alex Silverwood raised his finger again to lecture him. Don't trust strangers. but never distrust your family. In history, how many cases have been ruined because of slander by petty people? Why did Emperor Vortigern lose the throne? Because he trusted strangers and removed his loyal followers. He killed people and didn't trust his own family. Even though there's competition for the throne in the royal family, brothers shouldn't kill each other. If they suspect each other, when foreign enemies invade and the dynasty falls, you'll still have to rely on your clan's help. If you don't trust them, who will you rely on for help in the future? Julian Silverwood bowed his head and admitted his mistake. Alex Silverwood continued scolding him in a cold voice. You only know half the story. Don't think that by learning some balanced strategies, you can understand the world like a fish on a chopping block. Neither you nor your second uncle. Neither of you are as virtuous as your father. Go back and learn how great virtue handles all things. Remember, a person without credibility can't achieve anything. Your fourth uncle built his empire in Stormhill territory based on the trust of millions of people. How could I break the world's trust just to deceive your family? If you say another rude word, go write the Analects 3,000 times. Julian Silverwood flushed with shame. Finally, he realized his own narrow-mindedness. He asked again, Grandfather, is there really a place in the world filled with gold? Alex Silverwood looked at him and smiled. Whether that place exists or not, can't we find out if we search? Ambition had been born in his heart. Great Silverwood's fertile lands are now exhausted. If there really is a new continent in the east, that would be an eternal achievement of territorial expansion, even greater than the Han and Tang dynasties. Although he was now old, he still wanted to do something extraordinary in his remaining life. When he meets that young man, he will be able to proudly call himself the greatest emperor ever. Noah Silverwood came back with tea. He saw Alex Silverwood's group with gloomy faces. What happened to everyone? Nothing. Alex Silverwood changed the subject. His gaze fell on the teacup. Is this tea produced in Stormhill territory? Noah Silverwood smiled and said, This is tea from Stormhill territory's Falling Star Mountain. Its color is like amber and it has the fragrance of milk and honey. It's the prince's favorite. In my Stormhill territory, there's another treasure, beer, which is made from barley and hops. When drunk cold, it drives away the heat and refreshes the soul to its core. What a strange thing. Alex Silverwood's mouth immediately watered. When we enter the city, I must definitely try this. But first we need to go to the hospital to have Victor Silverwood's injury treated. Noah Silverwood pointed to the bleeding wound in the back row. Only then did Alex Silverwood remember his second son and quickly began asking about him. Victor Silverwood, on the contrary, became emotional. Father, let's go drinking first. Alex Silverwood took a light breath. He thought that in the future he would send him to the Golden Continent so he could expand the territory there. With a determined mind, Alex Silverwood turned to Noah Silverwood. Entering Guang really opens one's eyes. This is all just telegraphs, docks, construction materials, and such things. I still want one clarification from Noah Silverwood. Talking about this telegraph is really scary. Noah Silverwood said directly, The Earth is a big sphere with magnetic poles. Magnetism generates electricity. Heat turns into electricity. The telegraph is based on electric current to send information. Currently, there are over 60 telegraphs in Stormhill territory covering the whole region. The Customs Department already notified me of your arrival through this. Currently, it can send messages 100 or 200 miles. In a few years, it will be possible to send messages 1,000 miles. These words forced everyone to look at each other in shock. Alex Silverwood was even more shocked. Stormhill territory's technology is far more advanced than Great Silverwood's. He quietly made a decision. When he goes back, he'll send officials south to learn this technology. He'll gather all of Great Silverwood's power to catch up technologically. After all, why can't the great Emperor Alexian Iara be as good as his fourth son? Gentlemen, this is Stormhill Railway Station. Come on, we've already entered Stormhill City. As soon as the train stopped, Noah Silverwood stood up to show the way, but Alex Silverwood and his sons were a bit stunned. They were still immersed in what they saw on the train: telegraphs, cement factories, screw factories, steam machines. The new things Noah Silverwood explained along the way had completely changed their concept of creation, especially the train. It's not as simple as just boiling water to make steam. Even the rubber used for seals had to be brought from the Golden Continent. It took 6 years of cultivation in Stormhill territory to obtain it. Bearings and gears and such parts required support from countless preliminary technologies. What surprised them even more was that all of this started with you. You made all the design drawings yourself. You led the blacksmiths to build the machines yourself. You derived the fundamental principles yourself. Now in Stormhill territory, people consider you a saint sent from heaven. Not a single word of disagreement is tolerated there. The fourth son used to only study Confucianism. How could he have such abilities? The more Alex Silverwood thought, the more suspicious he became. After getting off the train, he stopped Victor Silverwood. Did you notice anything unusual about him at that time? Victor Silverwood held his head in distress. I stayed in the military camp all the time. I didn't spend much time with him. I only remember that when I was teaching him to ride horses, he said he inherited wisdom from his previous life. I thought he was talking nonsense. Now it seems it's really possible. Alex Silverwood muttered 2 words. Previous wisdom. He took out a golden pill and swallowed it. Victor Silverwood greedily asked for a pill. As soon as he took it, he heard Noah Silverwood calling. The carriages are ready. First, we'll go to the hospital to treat the wounds, then we'll eat. As soon as they exited the station, everyone was shocked. 4 or 5-story buildings were arranged in an orderly manner. Traffic flowed like water on the cement roads. Despite the crowds, there was no dirt anywhere. This was a scene of prosperity never seen before. Alex Silverwood sighed that there was such prosperity in the southern provinces. Noah Silverwood explained, "This is the new city. The old place is still like a small county." Then he got in the carriage with Alex Silverwood. Inside the carriage, Alex Silverwood saw a girl's cheongsam outside the window and frowned. How is it proper for a girl to show her legs? Noah Silverwood smiled and said, Stormhill territory is hot all year round. The king of Stormhill established this cheongsam. It's much more elegant than the previous practice of showing the chest. Then Alex Silverwood shook his head, but his attention was drawn again to Victor Silverwood's surprised shout. A girl in a cheongsam was standing by the roadside. Her legs were wrapped in transparent fabric, making her slender figure even more prominent. Advisor Ju, what is that on her legs? Victor Silverwood's eyes were fixed. These are this year's new silk stockings, which all women like to wear. As soon as Noah Silverwood finished speaking, he saw that Victor Silverwood's eyes were even more fixed. Traffic was moving on the crowded streets. Alex Silverwood's eyes were attracted to the shops on both sides. Stormhill Territory's shops aren't like Great Silverwood's shops with big entrances. Here, only a small door is left. Beside the door, a transparent showcase is placed. This glass is the foundation of Stormhill Territory's industry. That year, he made his name by selling glass and handicrafts. Noah Silverwood explained in time. In Great Silverwood, a big piece of glass costs 100 taels. Here you can get it for just 10 taels. Alex Silverwood's heart grew heavy. If this was taken to Westalo region, the profit could be tenfolds. At this rate, won't all of Great Silverwood's money flow here? He knew very well that the court was short of silver and was issuing paper currency to solve difficulties. This price difference was hard for him to accept. You're worrying too much, sir. Noah Silverwood shook his head. Although Stormhill Territory's products are cheap, they aren't things for common people's consumption. Most buyers are officials and nobles. They usually bury their gold and silver underground. It's better to keep money in circulation. Stormhill Territory needs to buy wood and silk from Great Silverwood. Eventually, the money will flow back. It can also help people earn income, and the court collects commercial taxes. Julian Silverwood added at the right time, Grandfather, taxes in Westalo region have actually increased quite a bit in recent years. At that time, Noah Silverwood pointed out the window and said, We've arrived at the hospital. Please get out of the vehicle. Alex Silverwood raised his head. He saw that under the signboard of Stormhill Royal Hospital, there was a building whose magnificence far exceeded the Imperial Medical Academy. Why is this clinic built with such grandeur? Noah Silverwood explained. The diagnosis and treatment of illnesses for Stormhill Territory's millions of residents all have to be done at the hospital. There are 4 hospitals here, dozens of clinics, and still it's not enough. People only complain about the small space, not the grandeur. Alex Silverwood suddenly understood. Actually, he was comparing it to the scale of Great Silverwood's clinics, without knowing that Stormhill Territory's hospitals serve the entire population. While he was thinking about whether people could afford this, at that time Victor Silverwood came to Noah Silverwood and whispered, Advisor Ju, where are those silk socks sold? I want to buy some pairs for my wife. Noah Silverwood was stunned. Then he smiled and said, They're sold everywhere on the streets. Treating your injury is more important. He was still speaking when a loud scream was heard from outside. "Make way. Something serious happened." Several people ran over carrying a stretcher. An iron rod had pierced through the body of the man lying on the stretcher. Alex Silverwood frowned. With such an injury, it would be better to let him rest in peace. There's no need to give him more suffering. The people around immediately started looking toward him. Noah Silverwood quickly whispered in his ear, "Sir, don't say anything so easily. Such injuries can still be saved in Stormhill territory now. Human life is most important. This is no joking matter." "Such an injury can also be saved?" Alex Silverwood's eyebrows immediately rose. Alex Silverwood looked toward the hospital, still unable to hide his doubt. "Is there some divine doctor in this hospital who can bring the dead back to life and regrow flesh and bones?" "It's not like that." Noah Silverwood shook his head. "In Stormhill territory, only the king of Stromhill can be called a divine doctor. Most people in the hospital are graduates of the medical school. Treating serious illnesses may be difficult, but minor illnesses are no problem. The wounded person will be treated by the king of Stormhill's first batch of students. Their medical abilities are quite good." After saying this, Noah Silverwood went to the emergency surgery registration counter. Alex Silverwood kept looking at the registration form given to him through the window. Another question arose. "What is this registration for?" "This is to make the queue convenient for registering names and consultations. It also includes the cost." Noah Silverwood explained, "The normal fee is 5 wen. The emergency fee is 50 wen. Alex Silverwood's heart beat a little faster. In Great Silverwood's clinics, consultation fees are at least several silver coins, and in Stormhill territory it's so cheap. While he was thinking, he saw medical students walking quickly through the hospital. Then Noah Silverwood said, "It seems that person's injury is very serious. If we need to consult a specialist, we'll have to wait." A hospital giving such importance to a laborer? Victor Silverwood couldn't stop himself from asking. In Great Silverwood, common people's lives aren't considered as valuable as nobles. Such a scene is truly unusual. Noah Silverwood smiled. In Stormhill territory, we operate on the principle of putting people first. Because the king often says, "Don't think too highly of yourself. Don't think too little of others." He even said, "Don't do to others what you don't want for yourself." And he demanded that everyone from top to bottom be treated equally. He sets the example himself, pays taxes, obeys the law, and his subordinates naturally follow him. In the hospital, there's no distinction between rich and poor. Saving lives comes first. Everything else comes later. These words shocked everyone. How could Alex Silverwood not know the principle that people should come first? But Great Silverwood scholars don't do this, and no one cares about the life and death of the common people. How can it be done here like in Stormhill territory? He looked at the busy people in the hospital and felt that what his fourth son had done was far beyond his understanding of a benevolent government. Here, construction projects and good treatment of the people can both happen together. Sitting in the emergency waiting room, Alex Silverwood sighed again. The fourth son is really not ordinary at all. Elias Thornfield immediately nodded in agreement. The king of Stormhill is a wise emperor. In his opinion, although he has done forbidden things like appointing officials based on his own judgment, opening new schools, making cheongsams and silk stockings, these are all decisions made according to circumstances at the time. On the contrary, the real key is practicing people-centered benevolent governance, setting an example by paying taxes and obeying the law himself and treating everyone equally. Such actions are enough to eliminate all minor disputes. Alex Silverwood said jokingly, "First you said you didn't know the full situation, and now you've changed your opinion so quickly." Elias Thornfield bowed in greeting. The ancients said, "See one spot and know the whole leopard." Just by seeing this hospital trip, the king of Stormhill's character can be known. Alex Silverwood turned toward Victor Silverwood and Julian Silverwood and saw that Victor Silverwood's eyes were wandering. He was staring at the passing nurse's legs. They were wearing white silk stockings, which looked somewhat more attractive than the black stockings worn on the streets. Alex Silverwood got angry and slapped Victor Silverwood. The sharp sound of the slap immediately quieted the waiting room. Victor Silverwood held his hand to his face in shock. "Father, why are you hitting me?" "What vulgarity were you looking at?" Alex Silverwood shouted. "Wasn't he just looking at silk stockings?" Victor Silverwood still wanted to justify himself. Suddenly, a light scream was heard. "Sir, why are you hitting an injured person?" Everyone turned to see Noah Silverwood coming with a young woman in a white coat. The young woman frowned. No matter how unlucky someone is, it's not right to hit people. And if the injury gets worse... After saying this, she turned toward Victor Silverwood. "You're the injured one, right? Come with me." Victor Silverwood was secretly happy and quickly followed the young woman. Passing by Alex Silverwood, he smiled with self-satisfaction, which angered Alex Silverwood even more. The majestic son of heaven was scolded by a young woman in front of everyone, but he couldn't even oppose her. He could only look sternly at Sebastian Hale, signaling him to intervene. But Sebastian Hale was feeling very hurt. First, the emperor himself hadn't let him speak. Now, how could he dare to step forward? Alex Silverwood suppressed his anger and asked Noah Silverwood, "Who is this young woman?" Noah Silverwood explained, "Her name is Dr. Olivia Ravenshire. She's from Changford Province. She's a specialist on duty at this institution. She's also the best student from Stormhill Territory's first medical batch." Alex Silverwood was still doubtful. "Isn't she too young? Can she really treat my son?" "Don't worry, Your Majesty. She's born talented. She was one of the first to go with the King of Stormhill when he went south. Her medical abilities are extraordinary. This small surgery will be no problem." Alex Silverwood was stunned. He remembered when the fourth brother went south, he had sent a royal physician from Changford Province, Dr. Richard Ravenshire, with him. Could this Dr. Olivia Ravenshire be Dr. Richard Ravenshire's daughter? He also heard that she's the fourth brother's favorite disciple. He immediately stood up. "Let's go take a look." When everyone arrived at the clinic with Noah Silverwood, Dr. Olivia Ravenshire was examining Victor Silverwood's injury. "How did you get this?" Victor Silverwood stares at the beautiful, fair Dr. Olivia Ravenshire standing before him. His heart becomes restless and he says softly, "I bumped into a rock." Dr. Olivia Ravenshire turns and picks up a white-colored bottle. "First, we need to clean the wound. Then I'll give you anesthesia and put in some stitches." Julian Silverwood asks curiously, "What is this?" Noah Silverwood explains, "This is alcohol. It's high-grade liquor, 75%. There are bacteria in the world that can't be seen with the naked eye. If they enter the body, they'll cause inflammation. Alcohol can kill them so the wound won't get infected." Alex Silverwood's eyes light up. On the battlefield, most soldiers die from wound infections. If disinfection could be done with alcohol, the number of casualties could be reduced, but Noah Silverwood continued. To be effective, it needs to be distilled to 60% concentration. Currently, only Stormhill Territory can make it. The hope that had just ignited in Alex Silverwood faded. He felt that Stormhill Territory's good things were things Great Silverwood couldn't even begin to imitate. Suddenly, painful screams of Victor Silverwood were heard from the clinic. Everyone looked. Dr. Olivia Ravenshire, with raised eyebrows, was holding a cotton swab. "Why are you screaming at your age? Why does this hurt so much?" Victor Silverwood held his head and shouted, "This is hydrogen peroxide. It also works for disinfection." Dr. Olivia Ravenshire shook the bottle. The King of Stormhill tasted medicine at 17 years old. Despite such a big injury, he never complained once. "Aren't you ashamed?" Provoked, Victor Silverwood gritted his teeth. "Go ahead, do it." But the next moment, screams of pain rang out again. After cleaning the wound, Dr. Olivia Ravenshire writes a note and asks Noah Silverwood to bring anesthesia, needle, and thread. Not long after, Noah Silverwood returns with the medicine. Dr. Olivia Ravenshire skillfully prepares the medicine and injects Victor Silverwood with a glass syringe. Seeing this, Alex Silverwood quickly asks, "What are you doing?" "This is anesthesia. It can partially eliminate a person's sensitivity. There will be no pain during surgery now." As soon as Noah Silverwood finishes speaking, Marcus Blackwood, who had been silent until now, speaks up in surprise. "After anesthesia, there's really no pain?" Alex Silverwood also immediately panics. Disinfection only makes wound treatment better, but if anesthesia can really reduce pain, it could change medical care on the battlefield. This is a powerful weapon for military surgery. Anesthesia isn't that it completely eliminates pain. Still, to some extent, something will be felt. Noah Silverwood explains to Marcus Blackwood and adds, "Anesthesia is divided into general and local. Local anesthesia only numbs the wound area. General anesthesia makes a person unconscious and they can't move, as if they're drunk. Therefore, it can't be used on the battlefield." Marcus Blackwood immediately becomes disappointed. The brightness in Alex Silverwood's eyes also dims a bit. Both wanted to use anesthesia to eliminate soldiers' fear of pain. but its side effects have ended that idea. But Alex Silverwood quickly changes his mind. Being able to reduce pain after surgery is itself a huge benefit. Treating the wounded is an important link in war. This is like Galen Valerius's Mafeson. Elias Thornfield strokes his beard and says, "Historical records say he could open the stomach and wash the intestines. Previously, this was only considered a legend. Now, seeing Stormhill Territory's medical capabilities, it seems this tradition came from there." Noah Silverwood answers, "You're right, sir. Galen Valerius is the founder of Stormhill Territory medicine. All these surgeries were redeveloped by the king of Stormhill." Only then did Alex Silverwood breathe a sigh of relief. If medical skills came from a divine doctor's legacy, this is much more credible than previous life's wisdom. At this time, Dr. Olivia Ravenshire covered Victor Silverwood with a thin sheet and began stitching the wound. Alex Silverwood asked his second son, "Are you in pain?" Victor Silverwood answered in a heavy voice, "Father, there's no pain, just a tingling feeling in the head. It's not like that sharp pain from the hydrogen peroxide." Alex Silverwood felt relieved. He took everyone to wait in the hall and saw nurses constantly carrying out basins filled with deep red water. It was that same worker who had been pierced by the iron rod, whose treatment was still ongoing. Despite such an injury, he was being saved because the medicine was truly extraordinary. Alex Silverwood said, "In Great Silverwood, such an injury would have been given up on long ago." He turned and began asking Noah Silverwood, "Miss Ravenshire, how many doctors like you are there in Stormhill Territory? How many years do they need to study?" Noah Silverwood answered, "Medical students need to study for 4 years and do 1 year of practice. So far, over 1,200 people have graduated. There are 5,400 people studying at the Medical Academy. Every year, over 1,000 people can graduate." Alex Silverwood was shocked. It takes Great Silverwood's Imperial Medical Academy students at least 10 years to graduate, because in 5 years, they can already train doctors who can operate independently. If we follow this scale, 1,200 people can ensure medical care for an army of 120,000. The casualty rate can be reduced by 1/3. He remembered those soldiers who died in the northern campaigns and muttered, "When I return, I should also establish a medical academy." But thinking carefully, he's old now. Even if he starts trying now, how far can he take Great Silverwood? A sadness welled up in his heart involuntarily. In the clinic, Victor Silverwood's face was covered. He just felt that the small palm resting on his forehead was very soft, and his heart filled with joy. There was no pain, and he wasn't bothered about being treated by a female doctor. The thought came to his mind that when he reaches his fief, he'll build a hospital with only female doctors there. He was lost in his thoughts. Just then, he opened his mouth to start conversation. "I haven't asked the Mrs. name yet." Dr. Olivia Ravenshire laughed. "Sir, you just came to Stormhill Territory, didn't you? You still speak according to old traditions. My name is Dr. Olivia Ravenshire." Victor Silverwood wanted to show off his knowledge, but he got stuck. Seeing this, Dr. Olivia Ravenshire smiled and said, "Stormhill means beautiful. Ravenshire means, well, it's my family name." Victor Silverwood quickly answered, "Yes, that's it." Then, taking the opportunity, he asked, "Miss, are you married?" As soon as he said this, Dr. Olivia Ravenshire's voice turned cold. "Why are you asking this?" Victor Silverwood explained, "Just that a young lady like you would already be married in Great Silverwood by now." Dr. Olivia Ravenshire said while stitching, "In Stormhill Territory, this isn't important. What's important is freedom of marriage. Forced marriage isn't allowed. If both parties love each other, they can register. If parents object, police can be called, and they can even be expelled from Stormhill Territory. Women can also work and earn money. Even if they don't marry, they can still retire. They don't need to be under others' control." Victor Silverwood was extremely shocked and asked about the age limit for marriage without marrying. Dr. Olivia Ravenshire answered, "Men at 30 years old and women at 28 go on blind dates. If the blind date isn't successful, they can stay single. If they pay insurance for 20 years, they can retire." During the conversation, the surgery finished, and Dr. Olivia Ravenshire completed giving care instructions. Victor Silverwood still wasn't ready to give up. "Miss, if you're not married, does that mean there's no one in your heart?" Dr. Olivia Ravenshire said indifferently. Valerius Laureate said, "I look at the Green Hills. How charming are they? Stormhill Territory is full of unsuccessful love stories. Asking such things is useless." Victor Silverwood's heart turned half cold. He came out stunned and confused. Alex Silverwood told him to leave. He dragged Noah Silverwood to a quiet corner. He quickly asked, "Mr. Noah Silverwood, who does Miss Ravenshire have feelings for?" Noah Silverwood smiled bitterly. "I don't dare hide it from you. I don't know either. But there's a saying in Stormhill Territory. Stormhill Territory's young ladies often fall in love, and 8 or 9 out of 10 love the Prince Everhart." Victor Silverwood stood there stunned. He muttered this sentence. He had never thought about it. The person in Dr. Olivia Ravenshire's heart was his own 4th brother. Everyone came out of the hospital. Evening was falling. Noah Silverwood smiled and said, "First, I'll take you to Food Street. We'll have dinner there. After dinner, I'll take you to the guest house to rest." In the carriage, Victor Silverwood suddenly asked, "The Princess of Stormhill is Henry Kingsley's daughter, right? I've heard that Stormhill Territory's young ladies are often infatuated with the Prince Everhart. I wonder if my 4th brother has kept any concubines in these years." In the Silverwood imperial family, concubines can only be kept at age 25, and only if there are no children. You're only 24. Keeping concubines would be a violation of the prohibition. As soon as Noah Silverwood heard this, he understood his intention. He smiled and answered, "The Prince Everhart is the most loyal person. Since marriage, he has only had 1 son and 1 daughter with the princess. They have spent more time apart than together, and he has never kept any wives. The affection between husband and wife is very deep." Hearing this, Alex Silverwood nodded in satisfaction. He remembered his 5-year-old grandson, Lucas Silverwood. His voice was filled with concern. Julian Silverwood, who was beside him, didn't seem happy hearing this. Just as he was about to change the subject, he smelled a strange fragrance. "Grandfather, what a nice smell," Julian Silverwood said while sniffing, and Victor Silverwood also came to his senses. They asked one after another about the source of that fragrance. Do you think these people will meet the prince or not? We'll find out in the next video. That's it for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if I should make part 2.